Hello everyone, this is Manohar Reddy, Department of Cybersecurity, Institute of Aeronautical Engineering. Today I am going to discuss about database management system. Today I am going to discuss about database management system. So, database management system. So, what is meant by data? What is meant by database? And how we are going to manage the database? And what are the softwares we are going to manage the database? So today we are going to discuss all these things. So we will see. So this is the introduction to the database management system. Today I am going to discuss with you. So look at here. So what is meant by data? So we are going to discuss about database management system with the help of these data and database software and data warehouse and data mining, as well as what is meant by information. So today in every world, in everywhere, we are having a lot of data. We are having a lot of different types of data. So managing the data is very important role in the industries, right? Managing the data is very important role in the industries. So how we are going to manage the data? So how we are going to install the softwares to manage the data? So for that we are having different types of keywords about database management systems. So we will look at forward to you. So what is meant by data action? So everything what you can say, what you can talk, what you can hear, that is all nothing but data. So here a data is a collection of raw bits, different facts, different numbers, different alphabets. Not only these all, you can have multiple items, multiple types. Those are all you can say that it is a data. Those are all you can say that it is a data. And database. So base is nothing but a source. So database is nothing but a data source where the data is to be generated, where the data is to be organized, where the data is to be ordered or processed and generated. So where we need to keep the data in proper order, that is nothing but a database. So where we can get the data, that is nothing but database. So this is nothing but database. And to manage this all the data and the database, we have to install a database software. We have to install a database software. So generally a software is two types of software. One is application software and the second one is system software. So system software is nothing but the software which is installed to run the applications on the system. So system software is example like operating system, because we are going to run all the applications on the system. So that you can say that system software. And application software. So application software is nothing but the softwares which we can use for the applications on the system. So we need to use the applications on the system, that is nothing but application software. The software which we can install for doing the applications, for launching the applications, for creating the applications is called as application software. So now I can say that database software. Database software is what? Database software is an application software, a software which is need for storing all the data in proper order. All the data in proper order. So I need to keep the data in a proper order or processing order or structure order. So for that I required one software. For that I required one software. That software is nothing but a database software. And next, data warehouse. Data warehouse. So warehouse is nothing but it looks like a godown. So it is a place or location to store your all the data. A place or location to store all your data. That data is not a single unique data. It is having different types of data. It is having multiple types of data. So data warehouse is nothing but a place or location to store all the different types of data. And what is meant by data mining? So data mining is a process of discovering the knowledge, from database or from data warehouse. So among that all the different data items, among all the different data items, I am going to pick up a specified or required item. So that is nothing but a data mining, a process of discovering the knowledge from the data warehouse. I am going to pick up the specified item from the different data items. So that is nothing but data mining. Data mining. And last, information. So information is nothing but it is an exactly the meaningful of the data. It is an exactly the meaningful of the data. So whatever the data is contains, it is to be meaningful. It is to be meaningful and it is to be ordered. It is to be processed. So that data is to be called as information. So is the data and information is same or not? Definitely data and information is not a same, because we are going to get the meaningful data is called as information. So that's why I can say that a data and information is both not same, right? So that is about information. So these all keywords of the database management system is very important to know about how the database is to be managed for the users and for the industries as well as. So database software, data warehouse and data mining and information. Database software, data warehouse, data mining, information, right? And see here, why should we study about database management system? What is the necessity to study about database management system? What are the things we are going to get by studying this database management system? So, in industry, there are different types of roles regarding the database management system. In industry, we are having different types of roles regarding this database management system. So, one is database developer, and another one is database administrator, and database user. So we are having three types of roles in industry: database developer one, and database administrator one, and a database user one. So database developer, what he will do, and database administrator, what he will do, and database user, what he will do. So to studying about this database management system, we are going to perform any of these role. We are going to perform any of these role in industries. So we'll see here. So database developer, what he will perform actually in the industry? He will create tables, views, procedures, functions, writing programs on PLSQL and all the objects of the database. So we are going to say that these tables, views, procedures, functions, programs, and everything. We can say that these are all data objects. They are all data objects. So the developer has to write this all the tables, procedures and everything. So that is the role of developer. Database developer can create all the different types of objects that we are going to use in the database. And the database administrator, a administrator can perform all the activities of the users, So database administrator can create the users, delete the users, and given permissions to the users also. So he will give the permissions to the specific users. He will not allow or he will deny the permissions to the specific users, and he can grant the permissions, he can revoke the permissions, and anything that will managed on the database will handled by database administrator. So administrator is nothing but a department of administration role. So whatever the things we are going to do on the administration department, that all the roles or persons, we can say that database administrator. So the administrator can perform all the activities on the database is called as database administrator. So what he will do actually, he'll monitor all the tables, all databases creations, managing the databases, applying and removing permissions to the database users. He will create the databases, he will create the users, he will give the permissions to the users to accessing the database as well. So database user, and last one is database user, is nothing but who will use the database, whoever use the database. So some of them having the knowledge about the database and some of them are not having the knowledge about the database. So those two roles can handle about this database. So those all are say that database users. So if you want to perform any role in the industry like database developer and database administrator or a database user, so definitely you have to study about this database management system. You have to study about this database management system. So database management system is nothing but we can manage all the activities. We can manage all the activities on the database. Whatever the things we are going to do on the database is going to be managed by one person. That person is nothing but database administrator. Database administrator. So by knowing this all the roles, definitely we are going to study about the database management system. And look at here the data. Actually, what is the difference between data and information? So we are thinking that we are having the data but we don't have the information. So how we are going to convert the data into the information? So see here, a data is raw unorganized facts that need to be processed. A data is raw unorganized facts that need to be processed. A data can be something simple and seemingly random and useless until it is organized. So data is a raw or unorganized facts that need to be processed. So we can say that data is unordered. A data is not a processed, and data is not structured. We can say that. While coming to the information, when data is to be processed, when data is to be processed, and when data is to be organized, and when data is to be structured or presented in a given context, so it has to be make it useful. So it has to be make it useful. So it is called as information. The data, whenever it becomes an information, is to be useful when it becomes it becomes processed, it becomes organized, it becomes structured. Data is not processed, data is not structured, data is not organized. When it comes to the processed, organized and structured, then it will become an information. So while seeing this example, data versus information. So data we are having what? Data we are having 51007. 51007. This is one data. I don't know what it is exactly. So I just want to make it as useful information. So I can convert it as 51007. This indicates, I can say that it is a date of birth of someone. It is like a date of birth of someone because I processed it one. I reorganized. I structured the data, I organized the data, I processed the data to be a meaningful, so that I can say that a information. So see here, 51007 is the data of your final exam, or the average starting salary of an accounting manager, starting salary of an accounting manager, or of course 51007 is directly indicates like a pin code of Bronson Lova. So we can say that if we are going to process the data, it is to be meaningful. So that meaningful data is called as information. So actually this is the data. When I converted into the processed, when I converted into the organized, when I converted into the structured, it will become a meaningful data. So that meaningful data is what? This is what date of birth of exam, date of birth exam, and this is one pin code, and this is one salary of average salary of employees. So that converting all this data into be meaningful data. So that meaningful data is converted as information. So the main thing is what? A data is unorganized, a data is not processed, a data is not structured. When it comes to the structured, when it comes to the processed, when it comes to the organized, it will become automatically a meaningful data. That meaningful data is called as information. Meaningful data is called as information. So like that we can understand the difference between a data and information. Data and information. And see here, actually what is meant by database, and how we are going to define the database management system. Define the database management system. So database is a collection of information that is organized in tables and stored on a computer system. So entire database is going to be the information is in the form of tables, and that tables are to be organized and stored on a computer system. And this information can be updated or modified as required. So whatever the information contained in the tables is to be updated and is to be modified as required. If you require to modify the data, definitely it will happen to updated with the help of commands. And we can also say it's like a room in office which has files in it. So we are taking the example as one room, and that room contains all the files. If we are specifying the person to take that file, that person will take the file from a particular row or particular cabin. So that is nothing but a database where we are having the data, and where how we are going to take the data from the room or databases. If we don't have a defined process, we will not know how to get the data from the room. So if we don't know where the file is exactly located in the room, so definitely we are not going to get the data from room, because we don't know exactly where that file is to be located in the room. So if we know something, if we know where the file is located in the room, definitely we'll get it from the room, right? So like the way you can understand the database, entire the information, entire the data is informed in the form of tables, and that table information is to be modified or updated with the help of some commands. And while coming to the database management system, so database management system is a software or a process for creating and managing data in the databases. So database management system is a process of managing all the activities on the database with the help of database software. With the help of database software. So that you can perform any of the role, you can perform any of the activity on the database itself with the help of database software. So that is nothing but database management system. The database management system provides users and programmers a defined process for data retrieval, management, updating, and creation. So we are going to perform all the activities on the database with the help of database software. Is entire this process is called as database management system. So for what we are going to performing all these activities means we are going to create the data, we are going to update the data, we are going to modify the data if we required. If we required, we have to do all these things, right? So for this purpose, we are going to manage the database with the help of DBMS software or database management system software. And we are having a different types of database management system softwares. So we have said that we are going to manage the data with the help of DBMS softwares. So what are the different types of DBMS softwares available in the industries, available in the market? So we'll see here. The best database management tools are, this is Solar Winds Database Performance, Solar Winds Database Performance Analyzer, and the second one is DB Visualizer, DB Database Visualizer, and third one is Manage Engine Applications Manager, Manage Engine Application Manager, and Oracle RDBMS. You can say that Oracle RDBMS, and IBM DB2, IBM DB2. All these different types of database softwares are designed and developed by the companies itself. The companies itself. So IBM has developed and designed DB2 as a database software, and Microsoft designed and developed SQL Server as a database software, and SAP Sybase developed SAP ASC as a database software. Like the way different companies, Teradata, Adabas, MySQL, FileMaker, Microsoft Access, Informix, SQLite, and PostgreSQL. So these are all we are having a different Amazon ODS, MongoDB, Redis, CouchDB, Neo4j, OrientDB, Couchbase, Toad, PHPMyAdmin, SQL Developer, SQL Pro we are calling that, and RoboMongo, Hadoop HDFS, Cloudera, MariaDB, Informix Dynamic Service Servers, IDS we can say that, for the fourth dimension, Altibase. So these are all the different types of database softwares designed and developed by their companies for their uh, industry purpose, their company own purpose. So, but most of these are all the database softwares. Most of these are all the database softwares. The most popular database softwares are these. Oracle or DBMS is one of the best and one of the most used software or most developed software. And IBM DB2, Microsoft SQL Server developed by Microsoft, and Microsoft Access also developed by Microsoft. It is inbuilt package, inbuilt database with the Microsoft Office, MS Office, and SAP Sybase for all the SAP applications, SAP applications. This is one database, and Teradata, and MySQL, and MongoDB, and PHPMyAdmin. So these are all the most popular. These all the databases are most popular databases. Most popular databases available in the market. Available in the market. Most of these all the softwares are open source softwares. We don't want to purchase it and we can simply download it and install it on your system. So these are all the different types of database softwares. And see here, we are having some of the versions of MySQL latest versions. So MySQL is one database software. MySQL is one database software. So the latest versions 5.1, 5.5, 5.6, 5.7 and 8.0 is the present version and the latest version. So the 5.1 is released in 14th November 2008, and latest minor version 5.1.73 and released on March 12th 2013. So end of support is December 2013. So the softwares having that expired date, so we have to release the latest versions. So for the 5.5 3rd December 2010, and 5.6 5th February 2013, and 5.7 21st October 2015, and now the 8.0 is 19th April 2018. So these are all the latest versions of MySQL. So MySQL software versions, and this MySQL 8.0 is latest released in 19th October 2021, and it is supported up to end of the month April 2026. After 2026 it is to be latest version and end support, right? So these are all the different latest versions of the MySQL software. And what are the applications we are going to know about DBMS? So why we are going to use the DBMS software, and why we are going to study about this management database management system, and what are the applications we are going to perform by doing this all the installation and applications. So we'll see MySQL applications. So different types of applications: on demand online video streaming. So on demand online video streaming, so the live applications or YouTube storage applications. For all these on demand online video streaming applications, we are going to maintain that past records as well as present records. So for this purpose we are going to maintain some databases for the videos, right? So for this purpose we are going to use this MySQL as a database for storing or streaming all the online video streaming. And next one is what? Social gaming. Social gaming. So in online we are having different types of games, right? For to storing all the games histories, like winning histories, losing histories, rewarding histories, and the participants histories. So to maintain this all the histories in the social gaming, So we are going to maintain the database as a repository. So for this purpose also we are going to maintain this MySQL as a database. And personal cloud storage, so to store all the different types of files like images, videos, and documents and anything. So for that a small amount of space is not sufficient, right? So for that to store a sufficient amount of storage, we are going to use this cloud storage. So that is also looks like a database. And for the sports, so cricket, volleyball, football and everything, in the sports we are going to maintain the sportsman histories, winning histories, sportsman losing histories, and age histories and matches histories, boundaries and everything we are going to maintain the records, right? Each and every individual sportsman. So to maintain all the records for the individual sportsmen, we are going to maintain the database for the sports purpose also. And finances purpose, so finances, we are having different types of finance organizations for that loan purposes, or like different types of loans, home loans, personal loans, gold loans and vehicle loans and everything, EMI purposes. So we have to maintain all the customers records, right? We are going to perform all the customers records to maintain the loan histories, purchasing histories, billing histories and EMIs histories, everything. So everything we are going to maintain in the database, right? So for that we are going to use the database in finance applications also. And next, government organizations. So government organizations for the health purpose or for the different civilization purposes, VRO offices, MRO offices, MISEVA offices. So there, wherever you go in the government organizations, if you have type or if you have give your Aadhaar card, you will get all the information regarding your Aadhaar number. So to maintain that all the records, we are going to have one database software. So that database software is MySQL for this government organizations also. So government organizations purpose. And social media applications. Social media applications are nothing but we are having different types of WhatsApps, Facebooks, messengers and everything. So the chat histories and the friends histories and blocked histories and everything we are going to maintain as a record. Everything we are going to maintain as a record. So for this purpose also we have to maintain one database as a software. So for this purpose, MySQL is one database software we are going to use for the social media applications. And the e-commerce applications like Flipkart, Flipkart, Amazon, Meesho, and different types of online marketing websites, online product websites, and everything. We can purchase different shirts, different items from the Amazon or Flipkart site. So each and every individual customer has to maintain customer products and the customer billings and everything. So for that also we are going to maintain one database software. So each individual customers products and customers billing histories, customers reproduct history, customer return histories, customer return items histories and everything we are going to maintain in the e-commerce applications. And healthcare industries. So healthcare industries also, hospitals are maintaining a database to store all the patient histories records, like patient previous histories, patient current histories, lab records and everything regarding patient histories related diagnosis reports and everything we are going to maintain with the help of database software. So that database also required for to storing all these healthcare items, healthcare reports and everything. Right. So for this purpose also we are going to use a database as a software, a database as a repository. And last one, weather reports also, to storing the past 7 days history and the current day history and current coming 7 days history, present or future history also. We are going to maintain like summer 27 degrees and winter -5 degrees, like that we are going to maintain that all the history of the current weather reports are past weather reports as well as future weather reports to storing. So to storing all these reports of weather, we are going to store one particular database, so that we are going to have this weather database as a repository for storing all these weather reports. So such these all the types of applications, without database we are not going to create any type of items to be stored, any type of objectives to be stored. So for the online video streaming, we are going to definitely we are going to store all the different space for live streaming, as well as recorded video has to be stored. Social gaming also, gaming reports, gaming winnings, losings, and participant histories and everything. Personal cloud storage to store sufficient amount of videos, sufficient amount of files, sufficient amount of audios and everything. We are going to store in the cloud storage as well as. And sports, so IPL matches, cricket test, T20 cricket series, football series, and every sports can have the records of each and every individual sportsman records, sportsman winning histories, sportsman's losing histories, sportsman matches histories, and everything. So finances applications, loan histories, withdrawal histories, EMI histories for each individual customers. So every application can have the customers data and customers representations of these loans and everything. So we are going to store all these in the form of database. We are going to store all these in the form of database. So for this purpose, we are going to definitely we are going to have one database as a software to manage all this creating, managing, updating, deleting purpose. So if you want to delete any video, you can perform delete option. If you want to create a live video, you can apply create a command to creating the video. If you want to drop entire the videos, you can perform the drop, as well as you can no, delete any cricketer history. If you can perform delete history. If you want to perform updated matches for the sportsman, you can perform update commands to updating all this. So, like the way we can say that a database is a vital role and very important role in the industries to store all the different types of different facts, different items, different way of scenarios. We can use it for storing all these things. So for this purpose, I am going to tell that database management system is very important. One to know about all these things. So these are all the different types of applications. So so once again we'll look at all these things. So what we discussed in this section. So we have discussed about what a database management system is, and what are the keywords to remember. What are the keywords to be remember to study about this database management system. So database management system, database software, data warehousing, data mining, and information, and these are all the keywords are very important to study about this database management system. And roles, why we are going to study about this database management system, what is the necessity to study about this database management system, and while studying this database management system, what are the roles we will get in the industries. So developer role, administrator role, user role, a normal user role, sophisticated user role, and sophisticated casual users, different ways you can use in the database industries. And similarly, we have know that what is the difference between exactly the data and information. So how do we compare data is this one and data is to become an information? How do we compare them? And what is meant by data, what is meant by information, and when the data is becomes an information. So for this all the purpose, we have to know this difference or comparing between data and information. And here we have studied about the definition of database, the definition of DBMS, and what is the software, how we are going to manage the databases for creations, modifications, deletions, retrieval purpose, and everything. What is the required software? How we are going managing all these things in the database management system. And these are the different definitions of database softwares. And we know that different types of softwares, how we are going to managing different companies with the different types of databases. So DB visualizers, Oracle DBMS, IBM DB2, Microsoft SQL Server, SAP, Teradata, Database, MySQL, FileMaker, Informix, SQLite, PostgreSQL, and Amazon ODS, MongoDB, like the way we have different types of databases. But all these databases are designed and developed by the companies for their own purpose, in the industry. But among this all the database softwares, the popular database softwares are Oracle RDBMS, IBM DB2, Microsoft SQL Server, SAP Sybase is Teradata, MySQL, and Microsoft Access, MongoDB, PHP MyAdmin. These only the most popular used one and the most popular known ones to the customers and everywhere. And these are the latest versions of the databases. One of the example, MySQL. So MySQL latest versions. So how we are going to have this all the versions, and what the software right now we are having in the industry. So these are all the latest versions, and these are all the different types of applications that we are having, to performing with the help of database. We are performing with the help of database. So this is all about the introduction of the database management system. So I hope all of you know about this all the database management system. Thank you all.
Like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.